going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. On today's show, we're going to be talking about State of Decay 3 didn't really exist when we saw the reveal trailer 5 years ago. The game was just a Word document. We're going to talk about Star Wars Eclipse, Fate of the Uncertain, the Eclipse Quantum Dreams game. We're going to be talking about that as well. We got PlayStation is giving fans the opportunity to be included in a major first-party games. And then we're also going to watch Beyond the Light, Episode 3, Story Dev Diary for James Bond's 007 First Light. And then No Man's Sky has another update that they just announced again, so we're going to talk about that as well. If you guys like what we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? Let me see who's all here. Good morning, Uploading Factor. Eclipse, good morning. Altern, good morning. Aku, Travis. Who else we got here? Sarge, good morning. Jesse Mack, good morning. Let's see who else is here. Soldiers, welcome to the channel. Just Enough, good morning. Argus, good morning. Kylo, good morning. How's everyone doing? All right. So let's start off with the State of Decay stuff, right? State of Decay, we saw this, and I have to go back and check GXG, because I remember talking about State of Decay 3 when they first showed it 5 years ago, and since the other stuff that we used to have on 30 and Still Gaming, we moved over to this channel 3 years ago, we don't have that anymore, but GXG, me and Sarge, when we talked about State of Decay 3, we were just like, okay, this is why we were talking about the Jenga tower yesterday, as each company pulls something out of your trust and erodes the trust with you with the video games. You have stuff like this, like Anthem. The Anthem didn't know what they were doing. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Anthem didn't know what they were doing until 7 years into the cycle, and then they realized what they were going to do. And then even when the game came out, they still didn't know what they had. Destiny 1, right? They had a game they worked on for 5 years and scrapped it and then fixed it in 13, but then took another 4 years to fix the game that they made. All of these companies, they kind of like put out something. And we always say, if you don't show gameplay, I don't care, right? Me and Sarge say that all the time. If you don't show gameplay, I don't care. And even when they show gameplay, sometimes that game doesn't even come out. So let me know when the game comes out. That's basically what we say. Right? So, State of Decay 3 didn't really exist when we saw the reveal trailer. They just showed a trailer. Okay, so in 2020 trailer featured a zombie deer, but that isn't actually going to be in the game. Now, I don't know. We just read stories here for the first time, right? On stream. I give you my thoughts and opinions on it. We get your thoughts and opinions on it. We have a little conversation. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Okay. So when we saw State of Decay 3 announcement back in 2020, which was centered around the hunt for a zombified deer, we naturally assumed that it hinted at the undead wildlife. It became a focal point to the weeks and months and even years since then, and given previous games didn't feature any animals at all. So I remember talking about this. I was like, oh, are there going to be actual animals in the game? But in an interview conducted by YouTube's Sunny Games, Undead Labs' Phil Holt revealed that really wasn't a game or a game team when the studio was working on the trailer. It was so early, the game was also in a Word document. So they didn't even have a game at that point. They just had the idea in a Word document, okay? Instead of the trailer created with the help of the visual effects animation studio Blur, it was all pre-rendered and represented a concept of the team's thoughts at the time and what might be cool to explore in the sequel. As we also had a chance to build a team and getting going on the game, some of those elements I think are going to persist in the game that deliver, and some of those things are just like, what are we doing with zombie animals? Okay. It said, no zombie deer, Holt said. Long after become the fascinating in the community, or fascination in the community, it's a shame, as we had pretty excited about the idea of zombified wildlife that's also not in the cards anymore. It never really was. So why do this? Right? I understand. I know someone's going to say, well, it's not really for us. It's for the investors and stuff like that. And it makes sense in 2020 when, they showed the Xbox and they're like, this is what it is. And this is the lineup. This is what we have. And this gets you excited because somebody, I'm not saying a lot of people, but somebody saw this and was like, oh my God, State of Decay 3 is going to come. And they bought an Xbox, right? This is exactly why that people say that we're cynical and stuff like that, but this is yet another reason to not believe what you see when you go to these Game Award shows or the Summer Game Fest or the Video Game Award show or any of these places where they start showing you video games and they just show you these trailers, right? Skyrim 6, okay, when they show the trailer and it was just the title, they did that for investors, right? Wasn't even it wasn't even in production yet, but they showed it. Why? You get people hyped because, oh my God, I gotta get it, right? And it makes no sense to do this because in the long run, it hurts you. Because now, let's just say they are working on the game, and the game was, because now there's an alpha, right? But let's say they're working on this game, and there was zombified things, and they showed it. But then the game comes out, and there's no animals in the actual game, just like any other game. Okay, there's no zombie. So basically, it's false advertisement. It's a lie. Now, they never said that there was any wildlife in there, but they showed a trailer of zombified deer, so you would think there was wildlife in there, right? So this becomes like false advertisement at that point because, again, somebody bought an Xbox because they thought State of Decay 3 was coming. Here we are, going into the 6th year now, no State of Decay at all. It might not even come out for this console, like this generation. It might come out for the next one, and it might come over to this one, but this whole lifespan of this console, it might not even be here, right? It says, nevertheless, this is awkward situation surrounding State of Decay 3 revealed makes more sense when considering a previous report about the going-ons at Undead Labs. For one, the developer reportedly didn't even plan to announce the project back in 2020, but Microsoft had requested trailers from key studios as it paved the way for the Xbox Series X and S to launch. We didn't want to announce the game because we didn't even know what it was at that point, said the developer. And do you see? We watched the video yesterday of Laura Fryer talking about what happened between the gamers and the devs. And what happened was corporate greed, right? Corporate greed. The guys in the suits make the call. The devs are not the ones to hate, okay? The devs are the worker bees. The devs are the worker ants. They do what the suits say, and they say, hey, we're doing this. And they're like, okay, regardless if they want to do it or not, they have to do it because that's what they're told. So then now us, right? Because the suits use the devs to interact with us, right? To make it feel like we're one together. But the player base feels burnt again and again and again and lied to, and the erosion just keeps happening. The erosion just keeps happening. Again, it's not just a Microsoft thing. This is a whole industry thing where they just slowly just pull you apart and it breaks your trust. Okay, so after 6 years of radio silence, 6 years, State of Decay 3 is closer to being an actual game, though it evidently still is a while away. Undead Labs has announced a sign-up for alpha playtests 6 years after. Remember, they didn't have a game back then. They had a Word document, finally giving fans an early look at the game. Okay, there'll be no undead animals, of course, but it will also feature a 4-player co-op, which is cool, right? Even though the last one had co-op as well. Some new base building, resource strategies, and plenty of combat. Okay, now, here's the thing. We love early access games here. I love early access games because, one, early access games are much, much cheaper, usually, than a full-fledged game. I would rather, and I'm only talking for myself here, I would rather play for a smaller price, if it's 10, 15, 25, sometimes for free because you're early access, you get to sign up and play the thing, right? I was in it for Sea of Thieves for 2 years before it came out, okay? And give the feedback. If you're a person that likes to give feedback and try to help the devs, right? There is that connection point. So when the game comes out, you can help make the game better. Where you don't have situations where the game launches and then they're making fixes like it was an alpha. Because a lot of games that come out today are broke, buggy, unfinished, and they just because they're gold, they're still in alpha, or they're still in beta, or they're still in early access, right? There's the same thing. So now, because the game is in early access or alpha, if you want to help them test the game, cool. Just know that you shouldn't be paying $70 when it comes out and it's broke, buggy, and unfinished. If you want to play test an alpha or a beta or an early access and you're okay with that, cool. All right. So what do you guys think, right? Because this is not the first time this has happened. They show trailers all the time of games that are not even in a concept yet. They just get you hyped up. Oh my God, here it comes. How many Star Wars games did we see? Hell, 1313 was probably one of the most anticipated Star Wars games out there and never saw the light of day. And it was like, by the reports of the actual devs, it was like 90% complete. It was ready. It was ready to come out within like 6 months, 8 months, and they closed it down, right? They showed gameplay, and this is why I never get excited when they show gameplay or they show a game. They're like, hey, look at this. This is the next game coming out. You're like, cool. Let me know when it actually releases, and then I'll get excited. As a 47, going to be 48-year-old gamer that I've been playing video games since I was 3 years old on the Atari 2600, I used to be hyped. I used to fall for all this stuff, right? And I'm not saying you can't get excited for a game, but more and more times than not, a game is announced, shown, and nothing happens for years, half a decade, okay? Almost a decade for some games, and you never see the light of day, or they come out and they're not even close to what they were, or they didn't exist in the first place, right? And to me, this has to change in the video game industry because everyone's like, oh, it's for the investors. It's for the investors. These are straight up lies, okay? Straight up lies to get people to buy the consoles because they have nothing. Hence why most people don't buy new systems until 4 years, 5 years into the cycle because they're waiting for games. The small percentage of people, right, the fanboys of each console cycle are the ones that get hyped up and they buy the systems to wait for the games, okay? Regardless, no matter what system you're on, you're waiting for games. You're waiting 4 or 5 years for some of these games to come out. Wolverine was promised years ago. We still haven't seen it. Obviously, it's coming out this year, but it's like they hyped it up so many years ago, and you're just like, you're kind of over it now, right? In your mind, you're like, I thought the game came out already. Of course it didn't, right? So this is an industry problem. Nintendo's done it when they showed Metroid Prime 4, but they didn't show a trailer. They just showed the title sequence, and then, 5, 6 years later, then it finally came out, and it was underwhelming, per se, right? So what do you guys think, right? Do you think that companies should stop showing games and stop showing stuff that doesn't exist and only show things that are about to come out? Like, stay quiet. Don't say anything about your game until the game is actually existing. And then once the game is done or close to being finished, then you can start hyping it up because then we know it's an actual thing. These are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe if you like what I do here, and check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are saying about this. Let's see here. Sarge says, of course it didn't exist. They needed investors' money. I'm assuming that's investors' money. Kylo says, morning, guys. New Forza Horizon 6 gameplay dropped an hour ago. I cannot wait. It looks good. Oh, well, we'll add that to what we're going to be watching because we're going to be watching 2 other videos today. We're going to be watching Beyond the Light, episode 3 of 007, and we're going to be watching the No Man's Sky new update that's coming out. So we'll add that to the to check it out. Let's see here. Altered says, why show zombie deer if they will not add it in the end? Because they didn't even know what they were building back then. So they're like, yeah, throw in a deer. They'll like that. They'll think they're like, think about this in the marketing. Let's hunt a zombie deer. What does that tell you? To the viewer, you're like, we even talked about it. I swear to God, we talked about it. I would have to go back. Maybe on by Thursday night, I'll go back and check out the episode that we talked about it on and bring it up then. Okay, because we're gonna talk about this with Sarge on Thursday night as well, about just fake trailers and stuff like that, right? But if you're putting a zombie deer in there, obviously you're looking at it going, yeah, this is pretty cool. The fans would think this is cool where we hunt deer and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Obviously, otherwise, why would they do it? But they're like, yeah, no, there's no wildlife in the thing. You'd be lucky if the game works when it comes out. State of Decay 1 was very buggy. State of Decay 2 was very, very buggy. It took a really long time to fix that game. Love the game. State of Decay 2 is one of my favorite zombie games out there. But man, was it broke. It was broke. Sarge says, how much time do you need to come up with a zombie game to build settlements and scavenge for survival? What the fuck are we talking about? Travis says, who would buy an Xbox for State of Decay? Like, from what I've heard, it's an okay franchise. It's a really good zombie game, but not when they came out, Travis. It really is good. And 2 is better than 1 because it's co-op, right? And it's a cool game because it's permadeath. So basically, if you build up a character and you build them up and then you die, you lose. There's literally videos out there of like State of Decay 1 and State of Decay 2 when people lost like their guys, they got upset. They're like crying on stream because they're like, I put in like 100 hours into this guy and he's dead. So there's some weight behind it. Mr. D says, State of Decay 2, 2018, series launch 2020. They were getting paid to do, at the time, fix State of Decay 2. The dev managers are now looking so clueless. That's what I'm saying, Mr. Z. State of Decay 2 was so broke. It took them 2 years to fix that game. 2 years to fix the game. And then they announced number 3 and were like, what? I remember talking about it saying, like, why are they announcing State of Decay 3 when State of Decay 2 is still broke? Mr. Z says also paying another company to outsource to help with the fake trailer. This is some good investment. Yeah, it's crazy. Soldier says, I don't mind trailers like this for content updates, but not for reveal games. They all do it. They all do it. They all show, like, hell, Witcher just did this, right? The Witcher 4 just did this. They did a tech demo because of the Unreal Engine that they're using for Witcher 4, right? And that was a vertical slice of what it is. But that's not the game. That's not the game. They showed you gameplay, what it potentially could be, and how the technology works. But that is a trailer for Witcher 4, right? They all do it. They all do it to get you hyped up. And now people are hyped up for Witcher 4, okay? But none of that is real. That is all a vertical slice just meant for that so they could show you the tech. Jesse Mack says, back when she announced the Lando series, or it's fucking canceled. What was your other thing that you said, Jesse? Did you say something up here? I can't find another thing. Even live action trailers. Soldier says, even live action trailers, I love them. Like those are great Halo 3 live action ads, but only when they're compelling gameplay reveals. I'm okay with the live action because you're advertising a game that's out at that point. Those live action trailers usually come out once the game is out to promote it. Like Call of Duty did it, Halo did it, a bunch of other games did it. But to do that, that's not really false advertisement. If anything, you're showing live action just to get the hype up. This is not that. This is not a live action thing. This is a trailer made to look like this is what's in the game, and it didn't even exist. What's going on, Waterbear? Waterbear says, I can't wait for State of Decay 3, but then again, yes, I can. It's going to be a mess at launch. 100%. You know why? Because State of Decay 1 was a mess at launch. State of Decay 2 was a mess at launch. So guess what? State of Decay 3 is going to be a mess at launch. What's going on, Dolphin? What's going on, Dende? What's going on, Roadkill? You're safe, Roadkill. You're safe today. You shouldn't be, El Dente says you shouldn't be able to show anything until it's 6 months from release. I would say 12 months. I would say if you're in the year, within 12 months, if you could show the game, show the gameplay, you can start talking about it, I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with that. As long as your game's actually coming out. Let's see here. Eclipse says, I don't want to see games until I see gameplay. But then again, we'll never know if it's real because they stuff like DLSS 5. Oh God, that's a whole other topic now, right? Because now people are going to look at, are those the graphics? Right? Let's go, Heroic. Altern says, so they took 6 years to make this game. It's still an alpha. And they added the same thing in the previous game, but with 3 at the end of it. So minimal viable product. It didn't take 6 years. They probably, I'll be honest with you, they probably started it 2 years ago. They probably didn't start working on it until 2024, maybe late 2023. There's no way they've been working on it for 6 years. and now have an alpha? No way. Oh, Zomboid's a good game. Yeah, Zomboid's a good game. Give me a second here. Trying to catch up. This is what's a problematic thing about the world today. It has become a no-stop marketing bullshit business. Plan greed for your company and your business. The normal business can't survive marketing shares. Right? What's going on, Jason? Look up the project. Was that Tahiti? That's the server. There's also a Discord, too. I'll send us a link to Discord. I'll have to look that up. What's going on, Jax? They also showed Gears E-Day 2 years ago with no gameplay. And we're getting this year's State of Decay 3 has also been shown a lot, still nothing. Yeah, I'm worried about Gears E-Day, right? Has it been 2 years already for E-Day? Was that last summer? Was that 2 years ago they showed it? Jesus Christ, time flies. Mr. Z says, Crimson Desert is the only game I've played where the cutscenes and the cinematic views of the action were real and are in the game. It's very true. And I think that's the difference, though, right, Mr. Z? That's the East Company. And the Westerners over here, they love lying about stuff, right? Yeah, where's Blade? Blade's been, 4 years now? Is Blade even real? Who knows? I don't want cinematic viewpoints in trailers. You can't trust them. Sometimes you can't even trust gameplay anymore because of what AI can do now. Jason says Capcom needs to make a game like State of Decay, but set it in Raccoon City. Oh, that'd be interesting if they did something like that. Mr. Z says, well, we'll see if the guts to show early gameplay to get us excited. Well, we'll see. I'm sure that people that signed up for State of Decay 3, that will get some leaked footage in some way, shape, or form. For sure. Waterbear says 30. Marvel Heroes Omega, man. You might need to check it out. It's under Project Tahiti. It looks damn good. I saw someone playing it earlier. Isn't that what Eclipse has been playing? Eclipse, is that what you've been playing? You've been playing Marvel Heroes Omega? I don't want to switch games right now, Water. I'm like dead focus on Crimson Desert. I don't want to switch games because I'm afraid if I pick up Marvel Heroes, then I'm not going to go back. Because I used to love that game, man. I used to love that game. And now that game is not like microtransaction filled. You know what I mean? Like everything in the game you earn. Roic says they had 4 years of meeting and doing the storyboards and figuring out what they did before to even start the actual development. Aku says, just wait for the FSR 5 instead of good graphics. You'll get every game looking like Minecraft. Jason says, Blade as dead as Rise of Hydra. Rise of Hydra is going to come out. It's not going to do very good. It's going to be a very short game. Rise of Hydra is the Rome of the 360 era. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a tech test for Unreal Engine, like Rise of Rome was on the 360. Rise of Rome's a good game, short game, small game. That's what I think Rise of Hydra is. Water says, yeah, I'm not switching games anytime soon. Yeah. You call it addiction, though. Addiction, Travis, would be you playing video games. You're addicted to video games, right? I don't need to lower the addiction down to one video game. It's just video games. Like you're addicted to video games. You like playing video games. I just happen to be playing one video game. Yeah, we're about to round the same spot. Waterbear, do me a favor. Take a screenshot of your map. I want to see your map at 125 because I'm at 128. And I want to see how close or similar we are in exploration and stuff. Roadkill says, yeah, you can't play another game when you're playing Crimson Desert. It just doesn't work. I just tried Starfield yesterday, right? I went back to Starfield. My brain is so hooked into Crimson Desert's control scheme that I've totally forgot how to open the menu system up and how to like get to the map and how to go to like save. Like I was completely lost. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put this down. I'll play Starfield expansion another time. Mr. Z says, speaking of gameplay view, where's Kingmaker? Yeah, Kingmaker, right before it was supposed to launch, it went quiet and they delayed it. They haven't said anything. Remember, that game was supposed to come out. Even as excited as we were like, this looks like just a fun, stupid game to play. They were like, it's coming out. And they're like, we're going to delay it. And no one's heard of them again. It's interesting, isn't it? Soldier says Starfield. So disappointing. Soldier, it sounds like you're disappointed in a lot of things. You should play different games that you're not disappointed in. Crimson Desert. You brought up Crimson Desert. Disappointed in Crimson Desert. Kylo brought up Forza Horizon 6. You said disappointed. I think you said disappointed with Fable or something. Or am I wrong with that? And now you're disappointed in Starfield. You got to look. You got to go some other places that you're not disappointed in certain games. Titan says, Kingmaker looks like an asset flip game. I'm okay with that if it's just stupid fun with friends. You know what I mean, Titan? If I could join a game where 4 of us are fighting an army of Roman soldiers or whatever, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay getting a tank, destroy a medieval village, right? Get an Apache helicopter, take out thousands of troops with buds. I'm okay with that. Mr. Z says Balatro. So disappointing. Not deep enough story. Yeah, asset flips can be good if you do it right. Like all the simulation games. Yeah, I'm okay with. I don't need Kingmaker. Look, I'm almost giving them a free pass, right? Kingsmaker doesn't need to be this like rich game, right? I would put Kingsmaker in the same category as Toxic Commando, as Back for Blood, right? Just a 4-player co-op horde game that you're just fun. Just fun. Like, you make it so fun, you don't give a shit about the story, you don't give a shit about all the other stuff. It's just a good time. This is not a game you're going to be putting hundreds of hours in because of the deep, rich story of the stuff. No, it's tens of hours, maybe dozens of hours that you're going to just, you're like, you know what? It's a palate cleanser game. You're like, I'm tired of playing these fighting games. I'm tired of playing these really long story games. I'm tired of playing a live service game. I just want to blow up stuff with my friends. That's what Kingsmaker is to me. I like the last game Kingsmaker devs made, but it was jank. What was the last one they made? Just enough. I don't know what the last one they made. Yeah, I don't know what the last one they made. All right, let's go on to the next story, which is Star Wars Eclipse fate is uncertain. Here's another one. Remember when Quantic Dream showed the Star Wars, and they showed all the beating of the drums, and we're like, oh my God, what is this? Oh my God, it's from people from Quantic Dream. Oh my God, it's a Star Wars game. And everyone was super excited about it. Sort of like what happened at the Video Game Awards show. We saw the next Star Wars game that was supposed to come out, or it's going to come out. We're like, what is that, 3, 4, 5 years away before that one comes out? If you guys like what I do, we cover news stories each and every single day, Monday through Thursday. We cover the story for the first time on stream. I give you my thoughts and opinions. Let me get your thoughts and opinions as well. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5, right? So Star Wars Eclipse fate is uncertain. Okay, here's the latest on Quantic's upcoming Star Wars game. So Star Wars Eclipse, the upcoming Star Wars game from Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls developer Quantic Dreams remains in development, but progress is said to be very slow going. What does that mean? Very slow going. Was like 5 people working on it? Are they drawing stuff on napkins? Like, what are they doing? NetEase, which owns Quantic Dream, could reevaluate the project if the studio's upcoming free-to-play multiplayer title does not meet expectations, the report said. See, I know what it means now, right? The free-to-play game was going to have microtransactions in it. They need money. NetEase needs money. So they're waiting for the free-to-play title to come out to see how much money they make off the free-to-play game so they can take that money and throw it back in to see if it's worth the actual thing. That's what makes much more sense now. Okay. According to Inside Gaming, Quantic Dream has completed a good portion of the game. Oh, good. A good portion. We might have a game 5 more years from now. When did we see that? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? It says, but sources told the site the rest of it not progressing as expected. What do you mean the rest of it? And sources added that Quantic Dream held discussions with the studio owner NetEase about hiring more staff, but this did not happen. So something happened like this with Bethesda, right? Todd Howard said in interviews years ago that they were making Fallout 76. He needed more people for Starfield, but ZeniMax wouldn't hire the people, right? So then Todd decided to make Fallout 76 to get people to come into Fallout 76, and then he would borrow them from Fallout 76 and move them into Starfield. And we all know what happened to that, which is Fallout 76 came out broke, and it was just a complete shit fest when it came out. But anyway, very successful now. And Starfield, regardless of what people say, is successful. I don't know about very successful, but successful in any case. Okay, so they're trying to get more people. And they're like, well, no, you can't get that. So now they're just kind of like sitting around, standing around. It's like a union job. One guy is digging a hole and 10 guys are watching him dig a hole. All right. The report added that both Quantic Dream and NetEase are looking to Quantic Dream free multiplayer game, Spellcast or Chronicles to help bring in. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, it just makes sense, right? Obviously, from the first paragraph, they're looking for money because they don't have any money. So here we are, right? Bring in money to contribute to the ongoing funding of Star Wars Eclipse, Spellcast, or Chronicles is a 3v3 online multiplayer game that's unlike anything the studio has ever made before. And it entered early access in February this year. The game is free, but makes money from microtransactions revenue figures out for the game for unknown. However, at this stage, the long-term outlook is less driven by creativity capabilities and more by financial viability. The site source said, should Spellcaster fail commercially, NetEase is expected to reevaluate the commitment to the studio and could opt into discontinue further investment. So this is terrible. This is like living paycheck by paycheck, first of all, in just normal life. If you buy yourself a brand new car or a brand new house, but you don't have the money to put a down payment to keep yourself, going, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to buy a house, and then you lose your job, not the best investment that you could have made at that point, right? You want to build up first. These people, these suits, these people that own the company are like, yeah, make this game, and we're also going to work on the other game. Instead of focusing and taking everybody and working on this game to, make this game not a minimal viable product, they decided to make this game and go, oh, we don't have enough money. We're banking on this game we haven't made yet with microtransactions and free-to-play model to fund this game, right? You see what I'm saying? They decided to buy a house, which was the Star Wars IP, to have this game fund this game. And if this game doesn't make it, then this game is done as well. That is a terrible business model. Make a game, sell a game. Quantic Dream did not respond to Insider Gamer's request for comment. GameSpot has contacted the studio seeking comment as well. Eclipse was announced in 2021, so here you go, 5 years ago, okay? And it hasn't gotten many updates since then. In 2025, we just talked about State of Decay. Why are you showing a trailer for a game that's not even close. It's because you're looking for investors. You're looking for money. You're looking for people. Oh, you're working on a Star Wars game? How many millions of dollars do you want? Let me give you some money, right? And they're like, oh, by the way, we're not making that anymore because the free-to-play game didn't work out. Okay, well, potentially. Right? So in 2025, Quantic Dream said the game, of course, still happening. Of course it's still happening. Because you can't say it's not happening. You got to say, of course it's happening. Because they still need people to pay for the bills and keep the lights on. Still happening, adding that it's eager to share more information about in due time. It was also reported that Eclipse could launch in 2026. No shot. Zero shot that Quantic Dream Star Wars game comes out next year. And if it does, I shouldn't say zero shot. There is a 99.9% chance it's not, because we don't believe in 100%. 99.9% chance it's not coming out in 2026. All right, launch in 2026. Okay. It's not coming out next year either, in 2027. And if it does, it's going to be a broke and buggy, minimal viable product mess. They literally just said half the game is finished and they think it's coming out. Get out of here. Get out of here. Since Quantic Dream formation in 1997, the studio has released 6 games: The Nomad Soul, Fahrenheit, aka Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, Beyond, Two Souls, Detroit Become Human, and Spellcaster Chronicles. Well, technically that's not even out yet. That's still early access. NetEase required the Paris, France-based Quantic Dream in 2022, becoming the Chinese company first studio in Europe. Eclipse is one of the multiple upcoming Star Wars projects. Check out the gallery below to see if all Star Wars games currently in development. Yeah, let's see which what do we got here. Let's see which ones we have. Every Star Wars game coming out. We've got Knights of the Old Republic remake. We've got Star Wars Eclipse. That probably will get canceled. We got Skydance New Media, Amy Hennig's Star Wars project, which is probably not going to make it. Okay. We've got Zero Company, which is coming out supposedly this year. We've got Star Wars Jedi 3, but heads of the studio have left there. So he's not directing it, the guy who directed the first 2. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, that's the one we saw at the Game Awards this year, which is probably like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years out. Star Wars Galaxy Racer, which is coming out soon. Right, so there you go. There's all the ones that we know of. Here's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think we see the Quantic Dream late 2026? Okay. And when the game does come out, do you think it will be a completed game? Or do you think it'll be hindered because they don't have enough money from the free-to-play game that's trying to fund it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Right? This year is 2026. I know, Titan. That's why I said late this year. I don't know why they said it in the article when they say it's rumored to launch in 2026, even though they said in the article they're halfway done with the game. So that means they're going to put out a broken, buggy game on purpose, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of the other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are talking about here. Just another subs. Yep, a rogue-like version. I love Road Rage growing up. Road Rage, that was that motorcycle game, right? Is that the one? I used to play that. I think that's the one. Was it Road Rage? Road Rage was that motorcycle game that they used to have at the little kiosk at Best Buy you would play. Is that what that one was called? I thought it was called Road Rage. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Farber says, just give me KOTOR remake, being done with Saber Interactive, and I'm good. Eclipse says, hey, look, another trailer of a false promise. It's coming, Water. You know it eventually. Mr. G says, Redemption Road Games' only project is Kingsmaker. Tiny Building Games is the publisher, not the dev. Oh, someone said their last game. So there was no last game. That's their first game. What game are we most excited for? I mean, I'm playing it right now. The game I was most excited for, And I wasn't excited until about the week before, which would be Crimson Desert. And I'm playing that right now. Do you know why I'm excited? Because I'm actually playing it. I'm actually playing it. And everything they actually talked about in the game is in the actual game. Eclipse says, Mouse BI is the only game I'm really looking forward to for this month. Maybe Invincible, that looks very good too. Titan says 2 Star Wars games this year. That's quite a lot of Star Wars games. They said, 2 years ago, that every year there's going to be 2 Star Wars games. There's going to be a big Star Wars game and a small Star Wars game. So I guess the big Star Wars game this year would be the Galactic Racer, and the small one would be Company Zero, or vice versa. Yeah, there's been Star Wars games, 2 Star Wars games every year for the last 2 years. All right, there's a big one and a small one. Oh, Road Rash. That's the one I'm thinking of, Jason. Yeah, Road Rash was that motorcycle game. I used to love playing Road Rash. Yeah. Yeah, Road Rage. I don't know what Road Rage is. Road Rash is the one I was thinking of. Every time I went to Best Buy, every single time when I was in my teenage years, I'd go there and be like, oh, play Road Rash. You sit there like you're playing at an arcade. Never bought the game. Never bought it. Only played it when I went there. Did you see the message earlier I sent? The map and hours played? Oh, no, I didn't see that. I'll have to go check it out. I'll go check it out. The Amy Hennig's Star Wars project is already canceled a long time ago, right after the release trailer a couple of months after. No, it wasn't canceled. It was delayed. It was delayed. They didn't cancel. What is the word they use? It's put on hold indefinitely. Ron says, I'm still trying to figure out how to play Anthem. Ron plays all the good games. He's playing High Guard. He's playing Concord somehow. He wants to play Anthem. Let me know when you get Battleborn. When you get Battleborn going, Ron, let me know. I'll play with you. Road Rash is a good one. Road Rage is a slop remake. What is Road Rage? I got to look that up. This looks terrible. What? This is the game? There's nobody. Is there anybody on the road? Why even make a city if there's nobody else on the road? Well, I saw one car. What is this? Oh my goodness, this is terrible. This looks awful. No wonder I never played it. No wonder I never played it. That looks absolutely horrendous. See, this is what people think, like, when certain games come out today, they're like, the world seems bare and empty. Like, this is bare and empty. What what is happening right now? What a piece of shit. But at least they took the time to make her ass look really nice. All right, next story. Jesse Max says, "What's next year?" Well, you got Jedi Fallen Order 3, whatever that Jedi 3, and there was another Star Wars game. It's got to be small though. There's a small one, right? Maybe we don't know the small one because you got to remember the year before you had Hunters, Bounty Hunters or Hunters, whatever it was. So you had the big game that came out, and then you had the small game that came out, which is Hunters. I don't think we see Jedi next year. We'll probably see Jedi in 2028. Yeah, we might not even know because, like, we didn't know about the Galactic Racer until 6 months ago. Not even. 3 months ago? Mr. Z says, correction. Jason was correct. There is also a Road Rash type game called Road Redemption. The dev Road Redemption / Pixel Dash. My bad. All right. There you go. Clip says, okay, I just looked up Road Rash and the game made for 64. I thought it was just a motorcycle game. I guess it was also a fighting one too. All right, El Dente. The remake of KOTOR. There you go. So the remake of KOTOR, and then you have the small game, whatever it is, right? Again, we don't know what it is yet, but they'll have a small one. They said 2 Star Wars games a year. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. Star Wars review. No, upcoming officially announced. Here it says, back in Disney reportedly aims to release 2 Star Wars games per year. Okay. 1 major AAA title and 1 smaller project to maintain consistent pipeline of content. As reported by GameSpot and Insighting Gaming, the strategy is intended to deliver a mix of genres and scopes, with 2026 expected to feature Star Wars Zero Company and Star Wars Galactic Racer. Okay. The initiative aims for the combination of large-scale, high-budget AAA experience alongside smaller, perhaps more experimental titles. Active development pipeline, several titles are at various stages of development to support this, including projects from studios like Ubisoft and Respawn. Industry context, the approach aligns with the broader strategy, increasing content density to keep the Star Wars IP highly visible in the gaming market, notes Reddit user. So apparently that model started back in, it says, while there was also significant hype in 2022 about this the release cadence, some gaming fans on Reddit and /Reddit discuss whether or not the pace is strictly maintained every single year, particularly during the 2025, but the goal for consistent annual content remains to be a key part of the strategy. So there you go. So whatever that is, they have 1 big AAA title and a smaller title. I would assume the AAA title is Galactic Racer, and Zero Company is the smaller one. I guess maybe you could flip that. Well, Jedi 3, when did the first... Was it Jedi Survivor? That came out in, was it Survivor? What was the other one called? What was the first one called? Survivor was the second one. I'm blanking on the Fallen Order. Yeah. So 2019 and then 2003. So that's a 4-year difference, right? So 2023, maybe next year, maybe 2027. So, but here I'll put the pin in it. They lost their director. The guy who was the main one on the first one and the second one left. He doesn't work for the company anymore, right? So he is gone. They're working on the third one. There's been some issues with it. So if it comes out in 2027, I probably wouldn't pick it up right away. Probably wouldn't pick it up right away if it comes out in 2027. That one came out in November. The first one came out in November as well, right? Yeah, both of them came out in November. November 15th of 2019. And then November... That's Fallen Order. And then Survivor came out in September. No, that was the other version. Initial release. Oh, April. So it came out in April of 2023. So, okay. So 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, late 2027 maybe? Maybe early 2028. If it doesn't come out next year, there's got to be 2 other Star Wars games then that are coming out, right? Maybe Amy Hennig's one. Who knows? Well, Vince left Respawn when, he had nothing to do with the other one. When they first started the first Jedi one, he was there. But then Stig took over, and he was the director of both games. But Vince left for DICE. Amy's too busy with Hydra? You never know. It's really easy to have 2 minimal viable product games, Titan. It's really easy to have 2 minimal viable products. Remember, Hydra's not going to be this like massive game. It's going to be a smaller contained game. 8, 10 hours, I would think. Maybe 12. And maybe they have another remake, right? Again, KOTOR. KOTOR is probably going to be one next year. That's the smaller one. And then we just need the one big one, right? Only thing is I'm excited about it for Rise of Hydra is her storytelling, but I can just watch YouTube video for that. I look, I think it's fantastic what they showed, like tech-wise. I think it looks great. Story-wise, it's going to be short. It's going to be a small movie story. You know what I mean? It's going to be like, I'm trying to think of another good but short game. 8 to 10 hours. I guess like a God of War, Uncharted type of stuff. I think it'll be just like that. I think it's gonna be great, but I think it's gonna be really, really small. All right, next story that we got going on here. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. I read the story for the first time on stream, give you my thoughts and opinions on that, and then we get your thoughts and opinions as well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So PlayStation is giving fans the opportunity to be included in a major first-party game. So PlayStation just officially announced that Playerbase, a newly community program that will let one lucky fan work directly with the first-party studio and represent in-game PlayStation at the beginning of the Playerbase experiment with Gran Turismo 7, though other first-party titles could be included in the near future. Just last year, PlayStation celebrated its 30th anniversary throughout the year. Momentous milestones were marked with the buy of tie-in events and community-focused programs, ranging from the sale of limited edition anniversary consoles to release of multiple PlayStation-themed soundtracks on Spotify. This is a new player-based program, is said to be PlayStation's latest opportunity to bring in some devoted PlayStation fans even closer to PlayStation experience. The player base will let one fan step into the world of Gran Turismo 7. Okay, so you've been a part of the history, now be a part of the future. We're scanning players into PlayStation. Scanning me in. Yeah, that's not happening. The player base is described as the Sony Interactive Entertainment Vice President Global Marketing, Isabel, has a unique opportunity for PlayStation's biggest fans to step into some of the biggest games worlds by having their likeness scanned and appeared in a PlayStation game. The first game world up at bat is Gran Turismo 7. One fan will be given the opportunity to be in-game character portrayed in Gran Turismo 7. The fan will also be invited to the PlayStation Visual Arts Studio in Los Angeles, where they'll be collaborating with a designer to create unique Gran Turismo 7 fantasy logo and vehicle livery livery, while also in the game character portray will only be available for limited time. You win a contest. So let me get this straight. You're going to get tens of thousands, if not millions of people to scan themselves in for a competition, and only one person is going to win, and then they're going to be in a video game for a limited time? Chat. Do not scan yourself for a chance to get in a video game for a limited time. They want your information, right? They want your information. Not only do they want your bank account, but they want your likeness. What are we talking about? Look, if you're going to tell me I'm in a video game for the rest of my life, and maybe I would scan myself in for that one opportunity of winning. But just one person gets to take that spot, but they get all of these other people to scan their faces, identities. Hello? Sony's been hacked 14 times. 14 times. You think I'm going to trust you, Sony? Right? And again, this is not me picking on Sony. I wouldn't give any company, okay? I don't even like doing the face scan shit to unlock my phone, okay? You're telling me one person gets to win and they're only there for a limited time. While the in-game character portrayal will only be available for a limited time, the fantasy logo and vehicle will be remaining Gran Turismo 7 showcase menu permanently. Ooh, wow. The logo gets to stay, but not you. To be in with a chance of winning the opportunity, fans of 18 years and over or participating regions will need to head over to PlayStation Playerbase website after signing in with a PlayStation account. That's the real thing right there. They want to make sure that you, the person that takes the picture, are you the person that has a PlayStation account. Fans will be prompted to fill out the form, and this form will ask fans to share a special memory. What? Showcase their relationship with PlayStation. What is this, a cult? What are we talking about? Holy Christ. I know I'm skewed, folks. So not only do you want my picture, but now I got to give you a memory that showcases the relationship with PlayStation. I would take a picture of myself in bed, right? In bed, jabbing it in there. Be like, this is my relationship with them.
Goes and scans myself. Later, why are there two of me?
Why are there two of me? Yeah. Thank you very much for the $5. Special memory. It was the first time I fucked the box in my bed. In the first round selection, fans will be judged on a variety of factors, such as the originality of their written submission and their demonstrated engagement with the PlayStation brand, as evidenced by ownership of PlayStation products, subscription games, and played hours played, etc. In a second round, successful fans will be asked to attend a video interview in which they'll be asked about the history of their PlayStation brand. Here with their authentic love for PlayStation. Roadkill, are you signing up for this? You've got to be signing up for this. Will be judged as well as how much the interview included shareable and entertaining content while demonstrating that their story is suitable, interesting to make further compelling content. Sometimes in the summer, in 2026, one winner will then be chosen to appear in the Grand Theft Auto 7, with the in-game update expected to appear later this year. While Gran Turismo 7 is the first and currently only game participating in the new player-based community program, the official PlayerStation blog post announcing the program states that it could be expanded into including additional PlayStation Studio titles in the near future. Well, good luck to you guys. Good luck to every single one of you that's going to scan your face, tell personal information into a company that keeps losing your information. Good luck to you. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Yeah. I don't have to worry about this. My face is all over the internet, so I don't. It doesn't really affect me. But to do this willingly, to give your information and stuff. Hey, by the way, while you take a picture of yourself, make sure you put your fingerprint there and give us your whole social security number while you're at it. Oops, we got hacked again. Oh no, Sony got hacked again. Dear Lord. Aku says 14 times they have told you about the actual amount. 2 or 3 times they also because it wasn't affecting the user base. That's true. That's only the 14 times we know. Again, they're not the only company that's been hacked, by the way. Eclipse says, I mean, I just learned that the franchise hit over 100 million sales. That's because of Roadkill's beautiful reporting on the 100 million. They know your history. They got your account info. Sure, but they don't have to have my face now. But by all means, scan away. Scan away. Eldeni says, I bet you $3 if the person is attractive. They aren't putting no damn troll-looking person. Imagine that the people, it's not even, because how would you know it's actual real person or a winner? They could just make up a person in AI and tell you that they won. So they get everyone to do all the stuff, but none of those people actually are real. Or those people are real, but the person that wins is not real. I don't know if you know this, but when I was in high school, I ran a betting pool of football. Okay. And the kids that didn't know about the betting pool, you would give them a card, right? You give them a card and they would give you money. And they would fill out the card, okay? And you're supposed to rip off the top and hand it to that person so they know if they won or not, right? Because then they can look at it and go, oh, I picked this team, that team, that team, that team, and I won, okay? Well, guess what? There's a sucker born every minute, okay? And people didn't grab their tops of their betting pool cards. So guess what? Tom won. Tom won this week. Oh, wow, Tom. Right? There is no Tom. Right? Nobody looked. Obviously, the people, if they had their thing and they won, they would get paid. But the people that won and didn't take their thing, how do they know they won? Right? By all means, scan away. Give these corporations as much information as possible. Aku says, yeah, no one's going to be winning this. They don't even own their own game. Well, here's the thing. That new company they just bought, doesn't that do that stuff where they scan in and stuff? Cinemaverse, whatever they just bought? That we covered, what, 2 weeks ago? Last week? 2 weeks ago? I love how you said this. People volunteer their likeness and personal data multiple times per day. At least you kind of get something out of it. At least you kind of get something, right? You get a limited time of your face being in a video game. Kind of get something out of it. Me after scanning my face, why does this NPC look like me in the new God of War? Right? They just take your faces and they put it in a thing. Don't you dare apologize to Roadkill. Roadkill came in, stated an absurd fact yesterday. Okay, don't you protect Roadkill. Roadkill made his bed and he has to lie in it for a couple of days. All right? Oh, look at Roadkill. He's like, oh, thank you, Water Bear. You're a real brother. Everybody just wants to attack me. Yeah, because you came in and said some stupid shit. El Dente's the new Kratos. Yeah, look at his picture. He is. He's the new Kratos. 100%. Warbear says, win contest, sue when your likeness is used in Marathon 2. Yeah, like, wait a minute. Why is my face in that one? It's only a limited time. Only a limited time. Just enough says days. This will follow roadkill for years. No, we won't do that. We won't do that. Let's go on, Ghost. All right. Well, hold on a second. We'll bring it up every once in a while. But no, we'll bring it up when it actually hits 100 million. I mean, obviously, it's going to hit 100 million, right? You would hope. They're at 92 or whatever it is, 95. So it's got to hit 100 million. All right. Let's go to the next thing, which is No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, man. This thing, 8 years? Are we 8 years? No, 10 years. We're 10 years. 10 years. Okay. 10 years into this game cycle. And they just constantly keep updating. Okay. So now they came out with this new update. I don't even know what it's called. Okay. It says No Man's Sky Xeno Arena trailer. So here we go. Let's check it out.
Introducing No Man's Sky Xeno Arena.
Did they just take Star Wars and make it into Pokemon?
Find, train, and battle your pets for the ultimate rewards. Assemble your team. And discover new Xeno species with rare abilities. Complete your pet log.
How are you collecting these things? Are you throwing a ball, or are you asking it politely to get in? Like you're like, come on, little guy.
Genetically modify your eggs. And battle with friends. Together, your bond can open.
Nope, there's no summoning water. They're okay. You're asking the beast politely to come fight in your ring.
Overcome anything. Take on daily challenges in the arena. Journey across the galaxy and face new competitors. Battle together and reach for the stars in Xeno Arena.
Sean Murray, you genius, you genius. All of these things are for updates. We all know this, right? For Light No Fire. Everything they're doing in this game right now for No Man's Sky is just going to move on over to Light No Fire. We know this, right? Come on.
The No Man's Sky journey continues.
This is genius. This is genius because now you're looking for animals on planets. There's 18 quintillion planets. 18 quintillion planets. I didn't start it there. There's not 16 times the detail. There's 18 quintillion planets in No Man's Sky, and every single planet can have an individual creature, okay? Right? Can have a creature that you've never seen before. So now you could go to a planet, find a creature that's never been found before, bring him to an arena, fight other people, and go, bro, where did you get that? I got it from this. You want the coordinates? Here it is. This is pretty genius of Sean and Hello Games, right? Because now people will go to other planets and collect things. You got to collect them all. There's a lot of fucking animals on each planet, and there's a lot of planets. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not going back for it, but holy Christ, that's pretty interesting. Chopper Eric says, nope, can't throw balls at monsters to collect them. No, in Sean's world, in No Man's Sky, you're like, hey, little guy, would you like to come with me so I can collect you and you can play on a table? Actually, it's just a scan of them inside the game. So Nintendo's like, we don't have a lawsuit. We don't have a lawsuit. They're not throwing any balls at anybody. This Pokemon Stadium is going to bring in a lot of people. Or a lot of players. I think it's cool because, again, it gives you a reason to go to the planets now. Even if you're bored, and you have all the stuff and you have all so many resources and stuff, now you're like, oh, cool. Now I can just go collect animals. It's pretty smart. There you go, soldier. There you go. You can go play No Man's Sky and collect animals. You won't be disappointed. You got something. Figured it out right in the morning already. 4 disappointments, 1 not disappointment. There you go. You got something to play. Right, you're using their mind tricks. You want to come with me to go play in my illegal cockfighting ring? 18 quintillion plans with 16 times the detail, 30. Argus says, I love the game. Now that Crimson Desert is out, Light No Fire is the most anticipated game as it was before. When does it come out, though? It's been, 4 years? 5 years? Speaking of... now, again, we spoke about this in the past. Don't tell me shit about Light No Fire until it's ready. That is a lot of collecting. That's 18 quintillion planets. Even if there's just one animal on per planet, that's a lot of collections. You'll never do that in your entire life. Dude, they should put it in the ad that the character throws a ball, cut to a monster being summoned, then use the thing in State of Decay 3. That thing is also in the trailer, is not in the game. Oh, that's right. They throw the ball. Nintendo gets in a fuss about it, and they're like, just kidding. There's no ball in there. We didn't put it in there. It's just in the trailer. No, free update, Ghost. No Man's Sky never charges anything. This is a free update. Free update. Soldier says, no. I'm still disappointed. All right. Well, I thought we had something for you. You're disappointed because there's 18 quintillion planets and you'll never collect them all? Is that why you're disappointed? It's a lot. I think there's usually there's 6 to 7 different animals on the planet. Right? That's a lot. That's a lot of animals to collect. Watch. You can't collect all the animals. You can scan them, but you can't collect them. Is there a trade system? There should be pink slips. This is what should be, all right? This is what it should be. There should be pink slips. You own the animal, right? You politely asked the animal to join your group, okay? You put it up. Whoever wins and loses, you collect their card or their animal. You think people would play? I think a lot of people would play. I think a lot of people would be like, no, I'm not playing. I'm collecting all my animals. That's what they should do. You put it up to ownership. Then people would write articles. Kotaku would write articles, or GameSpot would write articles that the creatures are being mistreated because they're being put up for illegal gambling in a cockfight ring. You know that would be an article, chat. You know that would be an article, okay, that Kotaku or GameSpot or IGN would write 1,000%. Jesse Mack says, oh, wow, No Man's Sky made Pal World. There's no lawsuit, Nintendo. Become the guys. Water is fine. No. They didn't make Pal World. They made a chess game, an arena on a tabletop. That's what they made. You go collect them and you play on the tabletop. Eclipse says, yeah, but they're raising the bar for that game. Like you said, you always say 30. You're raising the bar and you're sitting it. Don't be lesser than that bar. Right. They've made No Man's Sky. Light No Fire has to at least hit what they've done with with No Man's Sky because it's an open world game, and then they got to surpass it by just a little bit, right? Not leaps and bounds, but just a little bit. Yeah, it's on the Switch. Yeah, they're just not throwing balls. They're fine. You bet the DNA samples. If you win, you can clone them without even having to collect them. Maybe that's good. That's a good one, Kent. Yeah, Power World is very popular. It now hit the 1.0, or is 1.0 out yet for Power World, or is it coming out? I think Power World 1.0 is coming out. I don't think it's out yet. You know, the sentence is silly, Aku, but 100% in 2026, I can see that happening. We'll have digital animal rights activists. Yes, we'll have people that are fighting for fake animal rights in video games. 1,000%. You'll see a Instagram thing or a TikTok video, right? And you'll be like, is this real? Someone's an activist for the horse in Red Dead Redemption 2? Like, what is happening? I think they just hit 0.7, I think. Let me see. Is Power World... No, Power 1.0 is not out yet. The full 1.0 release, which is marked in the game's exist in early access, is scheduled for 2026. Yeah, so it's not out yet. So you're saying they're at 0.7. So they're close. They're close, but they're not there yet. Yeah, I know it's later this year. It's probably summertime. They'll probably announce it at Summer Game Fest, and then it'll come out like a month later or something like that. Unbelievable. They've added Pokemon into No Man's Sky. All right, the next video we're going to watch is, should we watch number 2? Hold on a second, because I don't think we watched number 2. Number 2. Let me see what they have. We watched, I think, the first one, didn't we? Cast and characters. I don't care about that one. We watched the last 007 thing we watched. Episode 1, Gameplay Dev Diary. Gameplay. We watched the gameplay one. All right, we're going to watch the story-driven one now. It's about 10 minutes long. I know some of you guys are interested in 007. When we watched the gameplay version of it a couple months ago, it didn't win me over. I thought it looked cool. Definitely an Uncharted type of game. Hitman meets Uncharted type of stuff. So let's watch this. Oh, we're definitely going to be hit with copyright claims because of that.
Welcome back to Beyond the Light Episode 3. And today we had the chance to talk to lead writer on 007 First Light, Michael Vogt. He'll share a few insights on how we craft the story for the game.
We took James Bond and we threw it out the window completely to make our own.
My name is Michael Vogt. I am the main writer on 007 First Light, and I have been with IO for 14.
He's a Bond villain. A Bond villain wrote James Bond. This is bad.
10 years. The origin aspect was always essential to the project vision. Since we meet Bond as a young man, the tone and the story world also needed to reflect his sort of youthful perspective. It's not a dark and gritty or cynical world. It's dangerous to be sure, but it's fun and inviting and adventurous and ultimately hopeful. He's not jaded yet. So Bond is experiencing this like hidden, exciting world of espionage for the very first time. Of course, we want to convey a sense of bright-eyed wonder here. There's this trope of the hero who walks away from explosions, right? Because he's so cool. But the reason heroes walk away from
You know, El Dente, you were just, I swear to God to you, I was literally going to say that. I was literally going to say that. I was literally going to say that. You're in my head. I was like, did he do a self-insert? Like he is James Bond? Like, look at it. Got the hair. The nose. The nose is the same. Right? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not going to say he did.
Yet. So Bond is experiencing this like hidden, exciting world of espionage for the very first time. Of course, we want to convey a sense of bright-eyed wonder here. There's this trope of the hero who walks away from explosions, right, because he's so cool. But the reason heroes walk away from explosions is because they've seen so many of them. But this is Bond's first outing, and he's 26 years old, so I think he's going to want to turn and watch that explosion. Many of the aspects that...
Why would that explode?
You associate
the gas tank wasn't even on that side
with James Bond is already there as innate qualities. He's incredibly charming and charismatic, and he's audacious. He's very cool under pressure, and of course he's insanely capable and resourceful. And there's a ruthlessness to him when the situation requires it. Emotional distance, or at least a reluctance to deal with emotions. He's not the suave connoisseur either who knows everything about champagne and wine and fancy cars. I think that will come with age and experience. But because he's a young guy, there are also some traits that we haven't really seen before. There's an innocence to him here. He's quite trusting and earnest and idealistic even. And traits that you sort of sense will probably not survive this job for long, even if he does. Belonging is definitely a theme.
Yeah, everything explodes. It doesn't matter what it is. Just put explosion. Michael Bay made this. It's fine.
In this story, he's a young man who hasn't found his place in the world or his purpose yet. What does it mean to be a 00 in this age, and does the world even still need them? Will heart and intuition even matter, or can...
So wait a minute. Here's my problem. Making James Bond should be a period piece. You know what I mean? It should be told in the past, not in the current day. I might be alone on this, okay? But James Bond was written in the past, and anytime Jump wants to do James Bond, you don't need to modernize. And obviously, I know that they did with Craig Daniels and stuff like that. But James Bond should be like in the 60s, right? That's when it should take place.
Place in the world or his purpose yet? What does it mean to be a 00 in this age, and does the world even still need them? Will heart and intuition even matter, or can technology just do everything better? So in that sense, the story...
Like the reason Bond's stuff was cool, like the trinkets he used, is because that technology didn't exist. But now in today's age, like the technology they have is like, yeah, it's like all of us can use it. All of us can do it.
It reflects the times that we live in, which is also something that Bond stories have always done. So this youthful take...
The job title is James Bond 007. His name's Craig. James Bond is James Bond. 007 is the number, but James Bond is the character.
Also informs some of the gameplay choices that we make. For instance, we have a bluff mechanic, something Bond can do to get out of a tight spot. Because we...
So I just think that this game would be better if it was done back in the day.
Felt that that's exactly the sort of thing a young James Bond would do. Agent 47 in Hitman, he plans meticulously, but Bond is not somebody who plans meticulously. He's very impulsive.
That's the one thing I disagree. This is why I like the old James Bonds, though. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, even when Roger Moore and Pierce Brosnan, they always did it in the modern day, right? I get that. But again, James Bond, the reason he was cool is because he had technology, he had things that were different than everybody else. Sure, it's still happening now, right? But it's not as what's the word? It doesn't feel as grounded anymore. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel as grounded anymore.
He just goes in and he wings it. When we start out in a pre-production, we make a story outline that looks pretty much like a feature film, only it's a little bit more elastic. Technically, you can say you structure it like a film. You make sure that the first half of the second act is very flexible, so you can make for a much longer running campaign while still preserving the tension curve towards the end of the story, towards the climax. The way I see it, As a game writer, you really have two toolboxes. Toolbox number one is the classic screenwriting craft, the time-honored method of structuring plots and creating character arcs and themes that resonate and kind of tying it all together into a meaningful experience. And then once you've done that, that's usually when you enter production, you go to toolbox number two, and that's the game writing craft. That's where you take that initial outline and then translate it somehow into an interactive experience. And throughout production, we work especially very closely with level designers in just designing the moment-to-moment story gameplay flow. Creating the story gameplay flow.
I kind of agree with Craig on this one. I don't think a lot of people are going to play, right, are going to play the James Bond game. I say maybe 2 million people buy the game. Now, again, I don't know if that's successful or not. But I don't see this selling 7, 8, 9, 10 million copies. I see this selling like 1 million, 1.5 million to 2 million copies. Again, I don't know the budget. I'm not saying if that's successful or not, but I don't think this is like a huge thing.
Is a much more demanding task than simply writing a classic story outline, and it takes like 50 times as long. As writers, we are schooled in classic storytelling. So in a way, you can say a linear story-driven action-adventure like First Light.
The problem is a lot of people that know James Bond won't play this. It's a much older crowd that won't play this. A lot of the younger crowd don't really care about James Bond. They don't really care about any of the franchises and type of stuff. Hence why they're trying to make a young James Bond to kind of appeal to the younger audience.
Is actually closer to home than, say, a big, sprawling, non-linear, gameplay-driven beast like Hitman. So I don't think we actually, as a team, had to adapt that much. It's kind of within the the comfort zone of what we're trained to do. The bigger challenge was to fit.
You could have taken this game, dead serious here. You could have taken this game, just from what I'm looking at. Maybe the mechanics and stuff like that are different. But you could have taken Hitman, even though it was made by Hitman, the people that made Hitman, and just made a mod to make him James Bond, sort of like what they're doing with Starfield, where you can turn Starfield into a Star Wars game. You could have taken Hitman and just turned it into a James Bond game. I don't think you needed to make a James Bond game like Hitman.
Figure out how to make a forward momentum game while still preserving, the things that make an IOI game an IOI game. So the story is about how Bond becomes a 00. So we are going to put him on a trajectory, but we're not going to resolve the character in this game. I think, to me, Bond is someone who clearly grows.
Why would you say that? Why would you tell us that? Why would you tell us that in the beginning before the game even comes out?
We're going to put him on a trajectory, but we're not going to resolve the character.
Why wouldn't you resolve the character? Why would you say that?
In this game, I think, to me, Bond is someone who clearly grows and evolves, but he's not somebody necessarily who changes fundamentally. Rather, he has some innate qualities that makes him an agent of change. He changes the world, right? He does that all the time. He has to have some inherent Bond qualities that are just there from the get-go. So we're definitely on.
Yeah, but isn't that putting the cart before the horse? Don't tell us that the game is unresolved. Just play the game and let us figure out, oh, it's a cliffhanger, it's unresolved. Obviously, they're going to make a sequel if it does well. If it's unresolved, don't get me wrong, if it's unresolved and it doesn't sell well, now you just played a game that's unresolved and there is no sequel.
On this journey with him, and we see him mature in many kinds of ways. But the story is as much about how he changes MI6 and how he changes the characters around him. Bond has heart, and he's very tenacious, and he's willing to take risk. And that actually changes the way MI6 operates in an era that is otherwise.
I can tell you right now, this is not a full price game. Don't buy this at full price. This is a $40 max, but really $30, $25. That's when you pick it up.
Kind of risk averse and data driven. Our Bond definitely leans more on other people than we're used to seeing. One, because he's not a seasoned agent yet and he's still learning the ropes. And also because games are fundamentally different from film in that players spend a long time alone on the sticks. So you do need that supporting cast to communicate story, really. So Bond has a number of strong relationships throughout the campaign, some known and some new, and they each kind of affect him in different ways and play a role in how he develops as a character.
Why can't you just make a new character? I'm asking a question, right? Why do you have to change the characters that we love? Why? Why can't you just make a new character? For instance, we just talked about the ballerina. Was it last week, right? The ballerina is a new character within the John Wick world, right? You're not reinventing the wheel. You're telling a different story within the world. Why couldn't you just tell a different story of 006, 004, 009, right? Why do you have to, who wants to play 008? The point, you're not playing James Bond, El Dente. This is not James Bond. I'm sorry to tell you. If I wanted to play James Bond, I definitely wouldn't play this because this is not James Bond. Just make a different game. This is why I like Matt Damon in Bourne Identity, right? Bourne Identity is James Bond, but it's not James Bond, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a completely different character, completely different thing, made its own world, make its own thing. It's James Bond, but in a different light. Like, why do they have to do it?
As a player, especially an IOI player, you want as much agency as possible, and we want to give it to them, obviously. At the same time, we do need players to feel like Bond at all time. In Hitman, you are kind of able to go spectacularly out of character at any given moment, but you can't really do that with Bond. That feels wrong. He's too established. So the way we approach choice is not about branching, it's about improvisation. So your Bond can be more of a brawler, or he can be clever and talk his way out of situations, or he can stealth around and use gadgets, and those are all valid choices. So we use choice as a way for players to feel clever and to think on their feet like a proper 00 agent, but without ever actually breaking character.
Afternoon, sir. Staff and press only.
Oh, damn. Forgot my press badge.
You're not the first.
You'll see sometimes in the game we're able to enter a dialogue tree with different characters.
I don't know if it's the way they captured that, but let's do his voice for a second. I don't remember that when we first heard it the first time, but when you hear his voice, the AR doesn't sound like it's in the game.
Staff and press only.
Oh, damn. Forgot my press badge.
You're
You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like it's in the game.
not the first.
You'll see sometimes in the game we're able to enter a dialogue tree with different characters. And the way we use it is, again, not about branching, but it's about that there's usually one option that's mandatory, and then the others are for world building. So it's simply about how interested are you in this world, in this situation, in these characters. Part of
IO is the name of the company, Sarge. That's the company who makes the Hitman games and stuff.
the creative approach is also eavesdropping, especially in a social arena. There are a lot of similarities we did in Hitman, where you have to listen in on conversations to obtain hints and unlock opportunities to solve a certain objective along the way. A good villain is someone who's thematically opposed to the main character. And it can be multiple people, obviously. You usually have 3 or 4 major or minor villains that challenge different aspects of the hero's character. Sometimes a great villain is also someone who's a dark mirror, a mirror image of the hero. But I think that the thematic aspect is probably the most impactful, really, whose values and ideas are just diametrically opposed. A character like Bovma has a lot of contrast. On the one hand, he seems very volatile.
This is another thing I hate in video games. I don't care. When you take the celebrity, just put the celebrity in there. Like, you want to voice the guy, and when Lenny Kravitz wants to voice the guy, cool. But I don't really care about fighting Lenny Kravitz.
And ruthless, savage even, but he's also kind of a philosopher king. He's very thoughtful and eloquent. And ultimately, I think what makes him interesting and sympathetic is that he is someone who's really trying to build something from nothing. You have to respect that, even in a harsh environment. He's
And we go back to the same conversation, right? When you have people scan their faces in, Lenny Kravitz looks like Lenny Kravitz. How come other actors and actresses don't look like themselves, right? It's weird, right? You're allowed to, if a person scans himself in like Keanu Reeves and other people, and they are the actual person, it's fine. But when other creators are put in the name, you're like, how come she looks that way? You're like, well, just all the people look. Yeah, pretty much. If there's an actress, usually the actress is who it is, or the actor is who they're playing.
Someone who thinks that the sky's the limit. We have some really great actors and a fantastic ensemble cast that hopefully players will really fall in love with. And of course, the story is clever and intriguing, and I'm very proud of it, but I do think games are more like TV series than film in the sense that it really is characters who drive engagement ultimately.
I think this game is going to be good. I don't think this game is going to be great.
Episode of Beyond the Light, and if you have missed the first 2 episodes, don't worry, you can check them out on the channel. They are live here. And also, don't forget to pre-order the game if you haven't, because you can get a free deluxe upgrade.
All right, let's go over this free deluxe upgrade. Being a naval captain here, does that get you disguised through certain things that hinders you if you don't have that? Can you get this outfit in the game to get through certain sections? Do any of these things help you in the game in the very beginning? Since they're exclusive outfits, is it like a cheat code that you get past? Does that make the game like super easy? So like, let's say to get this outfit maybe takes an hour and a half to 2 hours if you didn't buy the pre-order. But now that you have this, you automatically have it. So it makes the game shorter for you. Because if so, no, I don't want that. I want to get the most value out of the game possible. You know, these are just skin packs, which is gold. Which, again, I've never understood. I don't know. I don't want to like shit on the game. I'm not shitting on the game by any means. It's just something I wouldn't get day one. I don't think it's going to sell very well. I think it's going to get maybe 2 million units sold. I would be very shocked if they came out and said, oh, he sold 5 million units. And I don't think that's going to happen. I'll be very surprised. Again, this is a game, I think Mo said it earlier, you know, for Game Pass. You wait for Game Pass. And obviously, IO Interactive has a lot of their games on Game Pass. I don't think this sells very well, and I think less than a year it'll be on Game Pass. Less than a year. Again, I think you could have made James Bond a mod in Hitman instead of making a standalone game. Now, I will compare this to Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is not a fantastic game. It's a good game. I like being Indiana Jones. But at the same time, I was Indiana Jones. Like, that was Harrison Ford, even though Troy Baker voiced him. The fantasy is I am Indiana Jones. You are not James Bond in this. You're none of the James Bond. This is a brand new James Bond prequel, and you're like the fantasy of being James Bond, but you're not James Bond. You're a variant of James Bond, and I don't think it's going to pull very much. If you made a game like Indiana Jones and you took Sean Connery and made him, and they were going to use Daniel Craig as the main Bond in this originally. And apparently, I don't think they wanted to go that direction, but they actually thought, we read an article a couple, I want to say months ago or a year ago, that said that they were going to make it where it was the new James, like it was Bond, the Bond that everyone knows, and they were going to make the game, but then they decided to go with a prequel instead. And I think I think that's a poor choice, in my opinion. I think they should have done it as a Bond, like you played Bond before the Casino Royale or whatever that Daniel Craig was in, right? So it'll be very interesting to see how this sells and how it does. When does this come out? It comes out soon, doesn't it? Comes out in April. When does this launch? Comes out. Is it summertime? It's come out May 27th. So we're a month and a half away. I would hold off on this. I would hold off on this. I wouldn't pick it up day one. But you guys do what you want with that. I would pick this up after the fact, after you see what the reviews say. And I'm not talking about reviews from like IGN or one of the big areas. I'm talking about people that buy it and play it and put up a review, and then you read through the reviews. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about go out and see what IGN says or anybody. Like, just player reviews. People that play it, go read the good, the bad, right? Obviously, do what I say. Don't read the 1s and 0s. Don't read the 10s. Read the middle of the pack. Read the 6s and 7s, right? And then if the people in the 6s and 7s start saying the same thing, then you know it's a problem. Now, if you're a person that's looking for a story, it seems like there's a good story here, right? If you're a person that's looking for gameplay doesn't seem that good, okay? Cars feel floaty. It looks floaty. I don't know if it actually is floaty. I haven't played the game myself. Gunplay doesn't seem very sharp. It just seems like it's an action movie. It seems like a game that you're going to be pressing X and Y and stuff like that at the right times just to get past the stuff, right? You're just playing an interactive movie. And if you like that, cool. If you like playing $70 for your interactive movies, cool. But here's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Are you interested? Are you interested in 007 First Light? Let me know in the comments section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Is this a game that you're going out and buying day one, or are you going to wait for it and see what happens with it? Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Noob Bond. Let's see. Yeah, I just don't see it. Yeah, Daniel Craig is old now. They don't want to do his face in the new James Bond. I just feel they could have grounded it again, like Indiana Jones. Like, do you know how bad Indiana Jones would have been if they're like, this is young Indiana Jones, and it's not Harrison Ford in any way, shape, or form? Remember the conversation we had way before Indiana Jones even came out? We're like, because we didn't know what Indiana looked like. And we're like, it better be Harrison Ford. It better be Harrison Ford. And of course, it looks like Harrison Ford, but it's not voiced by Harrison Ford. It's voiced by Troy Baker. But you believe that your Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. Here you are, James Bond. You're like, doesn't sound like James Bond. Doesn't look like James Bond. Doesn't act like James Bond. We made a James Bond game. And none of the features that James Bond has is because you're playing a neutered James Bond. He doesn't know who he is yet. Great. I like James Bond because I know who he is. Mr. G says it's a modified Hitman game. I'm saying they could have done a mod. Think about this, Z. You're playing Star Wars Genesis of Starfield, right? You didn't buy a separate game called Star Wars Genesis. You're playing Starfield, but you're playing with a mod on it, and you're like, it's amazing. They could have just taken a mod, put it over Hitman, and would have been like, this is amazing. You don't need a standalone, brand new James Bond game. It's not going to do well. Just like Indy, I will wait for the Game Pass and play it for 30 minutes and uninstall it. I liked Indiana Jones. I thought it was good. I thought it was good what it was. My only complaint was I wish I could go third person. I get where they're going, though. They made the game. They sold the game as it's a first person. When you do the whip and stuff, you go to third person to swing. But I wish that you could go as a third person to walk around and stuff like that. But that's a personal thing. But I really liked Indiana Jones. I thought the puzzles were good. I have to go back and play the expansion. But overall, I think I played, 20 hours or whatever it was. It was a good game. Wasn't a great game. It was a good game. Soldier says, to be honest, give me an indie crafting game where I play as Q, and my whole job is just to build and test crazed gadgets. That actually sounds better than what we just saw. Crowded says, that's Frank Bond. Harrison Ford is James Bond. Sean Connery hasn't been 007 in forever. When you say, though, I mean, obviously, because there hasn't been other Harrison Fords, though. Like, no one's made an Indiana. There was what's his name Phoenix. What the hell was his name? Joaquin's brother. He was young Indiana Jones back in the day. River Phoenix. River Phoenix was Indiana Jones back in the, okay? There's been no other Indiana Jones. So, of course, Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, I forget the other guy's name. The one James Bond that no one, everyone forgets. Okay? Like, there's been multiple James Bond, and you chose to make a James Bond game that doesn't have any connection to any of those. It's a new James Bond. It's a bold move. You could have picked anybody. Hence why they said they were going to pick Daniel Craig in the beginning. They probably didn't want to pay the money for him. I'll be honest with you. They're like, well, Daniel Craig and Lenny Kravitz? Well, we can't have both. So that's why the writer inserted himself as James Bond. I don't know if that's true. It sure does look like it, though. Timothy Dalton. That's it. Nobody remembers him. Eclipse says Timothy Dalton was the best one to fight me. Let me see something real fast. I wonder if they're Let's see if this is a thing. I typed into Google, when you think of James Bond, who do you think of? When thinking of James Bond, the classic image often centers around Sean Connery. For this foundacious, effortless cool, all right, while Pierce Brosnan is also remembering for balance and suave charm and with action. And then Daniel Craig is favored in this modern day, gritty, inspirational stuff, right? Or interpretation, sorry. In gritty interpretation, right? Sean Connery is number one. When you think of James Bond, Sean Connery is number one. He is James Bond. Like Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. Yeah, I already said it, Jesse. I already said River Phoenix. You might be a little bit behind. In my time being alive, if you ask me, I would say Sean Connery was James Bond. And what age bracket are you in? Right? You're in your mid-30s, right? Mid-30s? Yeah. I like Soldier already. He's running with the theme. Right? He's new in the channel. He's running with the theme. Right? Bond game looks disappointing. Sticking with it. Sticking with the thematic here. It does look disappointing. I'll have to agree with you on this one. It does look disappointing. All right, what else we got here? Let's look at what's happening on Twitter. Time flies when you're having fun, isn't it? It just looks like Hitman with hair. That's it. That's it. It's Hitman with hair. Don't get me wrong. I like the Hitman games. I do. I like the Hitman games. But now when you take an IP of James Bond, one of the most beloved spy like genres in the world, and you give us not James Bond, it's a little weird. Crowded says, let's make out first James Bond game and make James Bond completely unlike James Bond. No one stood up and said, why though? It's exactly right, Crowded. It's like they looked at it and said, but why would someone want to play James Bond that's not James Bond? Why would someone want to play becoming James Bond? They want to be James Bond. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. They're like, oh yeah, I get to pretend I'm James Bond, which is great. I love role playing and stuff like that when you're playing a game, right? But why would I play a non-James Bond character? Ghost says, not going to lie. I missed most of the video because my phone lost reception, but I really want a burn notice game. Yeah, I guess I can see it. Oh, that's actually pretty good there, right? What if at the ending of the game, Bond's head being shaved and they reveal he has a barcode tattoo? That's why they leave it hanging. It's open-ended. That way, if the game bombs, right? If the game bombs and doesn't make it, you could use your own headcanon and just think that he became Hitman. It's genius. It's genius. It's about the journey, not the destination. El Dente says, you mean when the game bombs? Yeah. Well, let's see. Hold on a second. Do we know... Do we know the budget? Do we know the budget? Oh, no. Oh, no. No. This game is not going to make its money back. Are you guys ready? Don't look it up. Don't look it up, chat. Right now, you guys tapping. Don't look it up. Let's play a little game. What do you think this game budget is? What do you think the budget is for 007? El Dente says 250 million. Don't look it up, chat. Just type in. See what you guys think. Waterbear says 350. Burn notice is Hitman without killing. Kylo says 250. Big Mo says 435. Hero says 450. Are you guys typing that and just thinking of the budget with the marketing or without the marketing? Just the game. No marketing. Just the game. Jesse says 900 million. 250 without marketing. 375. 007 backwards. Yeah. It says, now I don't know if this is true, okay? It says IO Interactive 007 First Light has reported development budget exceeding $200 million, surpassing combined costs of the Hitman trilogy. This significant investment aims to establish a new long-term James Bond series. They're putting the cart before the horse, man. With the game set on release on May 27th, featuring extensive high-quality production, to over $200 million. Bro, there is no way that this game is going to make its money back. Because if you put the marketing on top of that, $350 million. How much is this game? $70? Yeah, they're not making their money back. This game is going to lose money. They are not selling 5 million copies. If it sells 5 million copies, I will gift 10 memberships to my own channel. And I have to pay that. I mean, obviously coming back to me, but I will give 10 memberships out if it breaks 5 million units. It's not going to happen. It would need to score like a 10 across the board to generate insane sales hype. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Full price, $200 million budget. And that's what they was last reported. And that was last reported in June of 2025. Titan says $5 million eventually. Full price, Titan. We're talking like right when the game comes out. Like Crimson Desert has sold 4 million units within 3 weeks. All right, you want to put a time limit on it? Great. I'll give it in 3 months, it won't make 5 million units. I don't even think it'll make 5 million units in its lifetime. Okay, just to put this in perspective. Okay, as of June of 2025, the Hitman World of Assassination Trilogy, formerly Hitman 3, has surpassed 25 million sold and reached over 80 million players worldwide. The sales series and rebrand of 2023 to include the 3 modern games achieved record-breaking profits of IO Interactive, with Hitman 3 performing 300% better commercially than its predecessor. Total trilogy, 25 million units sold and 80 million plus players. Okay, think about that. 25 million units sold and 80 million plus players. That means a lot of people didn't pay for the game and they played it on some sort of service or whatever. Right? Let's see. Do they talk about the sales of each Hitman game? And again, Hitman. No, let's see. Total sales. The best Hitman game is Hitman World of Assassination, which is what, a live service game, is it not? So the Hitman games that they have, Hitman Codename 47 sold 590,000 units. Hitman 2 Silent Assassin sold 3.71 million. Hitman Contracts 1.9 million. Hitman Blood Money 2.1 million. Hitman Absolution 3.6 million. Hitman 2016 version 1.53 million PC only. Hitman 2 doesn't have, and Hitman 3 Hitman World of Assassinations is 25 million. No shot. No shot. Let me see this. Hitman. I want to see what the budget of one of these games cost. No disclosure for that. Okay. Hitman budget. 2007 Hitman film was the estimated production budget of 24. The film cost $24 million back in the day. Let's see. Hitman Agent 47, the original game, had a higher budget of approximately $35 million. That's the game. Crowded says they better pull a Sonic the Hedgehog or something. Shit 30, you'll lose money after the YouTube cut. That's fine. Mr. G says the media will give it a 9 out of 10. All controls and choices amazing. Just Enough says the last 2 Hitman were free to start. So is that what they're going to do for James Bond? These budget numbers have to be wrong? No. Over $200 million. Licensing are expensive, man. Licensing are expensive. Eclipse says, and I think the World of Assassination got like rebranded a couple times. So it's like multiple sales of it. Didn't they also have problems? I remember having a story about 007 where the studio was having issues, right? Hold on a second. Yeah, so this was... What year was this? Well, they just did the First Light. This was posted 3 hours ago on Reddit. 007 First Light is reportedly delayed indefinitely on the Switch units, on the Switch 2. So they're having problems with that. 007 First Light is unplayable for many gamers amidst... Oh, what is this? This is 3 hours ago. 007 is first unplayable at launch for many gamers amidst the confirmed delay. We're talking about, is this for the Switch? If 007 First Light sticks the landing next month, it would prove that it's a Game of the Year content. They're already calling it Game of the Year. Could prove to be Game of the Year contender. IO Interactive upcoming release is surefire recipe for monumental success. Do you see the spin already, folks? Do you see the spin already? The game is based upon a beloved IP, features slick Uncharted-esque combat bloats with Patrick Gibson. Okay. So the game is set to arrive on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch 2 and PC on May 27th. The report has surfaced suggesting that the game will never see the light of day on one of those platforms, which is the Nintendo Switch 2, probably, right? Yeah. Has been delayed indefinitely. All right, let me see what else we got. That's the Switch 2. That's 6 minutes ago. No, I don't want that. There was other news. I know for a fact someone left, something happened. Oh, and mind you, by the way, just to put in perspective, we're going back to Roadkill saying 100 million units. This is James Bond, by the way, being delayed on Nintendo. And look how many articles there are right now, right? Reporting the news, right? VGC charts, Nintendo Wire, GameSpot, Shack News, FRVR, Dual Shockers, Game GPUs, Screen Rant, Inside Gaming, IGN Nordic, okay? We go back to page 1. We got Reddit. We got Nintendo, right? We've got Engadget. We got Nintendo. And this is just talking about James Bond being delayed on the Nintendo Switch. Oh, and remember, this has got delayed. So IO Interactive 007 First Light has been delayed to May 27th to allow extra polish following a period where the studio was in a really, really bad spot and relied on Hitman to survive. Follow the trail. Follow the breadcrumb trails. While overall development continues, the game faces specific challenges with delay on the Switch 2 version and earlier confessing PC specification errors. Okay. Delays in polish. The game was delayed. Here, I'll bring this up on the stream so you don't think I'm making it up. Okay. Delays in polish. The game was delayed from the original timeline to May 27th of 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC to ensure project meets high-quality standards. Okay. Switch 2 version of Nintendo Switch version has been delayed further to expect later in the summer of 2026. Then why are we saying indefinite? Like, shut up with these fucking indefinite. Do people understand what indefinite means? Development struggles reports indicate that the team was under severe pressure in early 2026 to the success of Hitman franchise sustaining the studio during its high-stakes development because it's over $200 million. So they needed the other game to fund this game. Again, buying a house when you have no job. Okay. Production missteps. The team experienced issues with internal communication resulting in embarrassing error, where incorrect expectational high PC hardware specs were initially released. Reimagining Bond, the game is focusing on a younger, modern Bond, which is while creative goal involves balancing classic elements with contemporary values. Let's see what this article. Lots of, I'm telling you, man. Let's see, can I do past year, 5 hours ago? Everyone's just talking about the delay for Nintendo Switch 2. Somebody on Steam, hold on a second. Somebody on Steam wrote this. Modern Values is losing your customers and now and in the future. They're talking about, I will never buy another IO interactive game again. Not 007, not Hitman, not anything else. People are sick of the soapbox virtual signaling. Are they doing something like that? I don't remember if they are. I don't follow all this stuff like that. Everybody's talking about just the delay of Nintendo Switch 2. They're not talking about any other things about the game. Two-month delay. Interacted to bring James Bond. Let me see some of these old articles. Is it raining right now? Wow, it's pouring. After finally unveiling, this is 007 First Light. This is back from June 10th of 2025 from Video Game World. They just talk about making its appearance. Then we have this one. First Light developers don't really think about the hype around the 13-year-old wait since the last James Bond game. 13 years ago, James Bond 007 First Light developer IO Interactive wasn't a decade-long wait. Focusing on having created the original story, or the origin story, that's super appealing to the players. Yeah. IO's original prototype involved sticking Daniel Craig's head onto 47's body. I mean, I'll be honest, that probably would have been a lot easier to do. And you would have saved yourself $200 million. See, I do remember reading this. And this was November 24 last year. If they want to get 5 million units sold, they have to get it as many platforms as possible. Eclipse says, so when these people let go of people, you know, who they're going to blame. Just us, the gamers, for not buying it. IO Interactive had drama with making 007 game after Hitman 3. If James Bond game doesn't feel like James Bond and they just remade Hitman with a different character, yeah, basically. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the story would be good. Like, take the name James Bond out of it and use just a regular secret agent, and you're playing through the story. You're like, oh, it's a good game. But you're banking on 007. You're banking on a 007 James Bond game, and you made baby James Bond. You made early James Bond becoming James Bond. You didn't make a James Bond game. You became becoming James Bond game. And by the writer himself said that the game, at the end of the game, it's not closed-ended. It's open-ended, meaning that you don't even become James Bond. You're like acting like you're doing stuff like James Bond, but by the end of the game, you're not even James Bond yet, that you know. I hate when they do stuff like this. I do. They're gonna give us a Luke Skywalker game in the future, but it's gonna be Luke before he meets Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's gonna be the young years of Luke Skywalker, where you'll be on the Tatooine moisture farm, and you're doing a farming game, is what it's gonna be, right? That's what it's gonna be. Like, you're going to be Luke Skywalker in a video game. You're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And really, you're just a moisture farmer. This is pre before he becomes a badass, before he becomes a Jedi and all that stuff. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Make Austin Powers origin game? I mean, you could. It would be done in the 60s, because remember, he gets frozen and then unthawed in the modern day. That's actually a better... I'll be honest with you. I think if you just made this the Austin Powers game, and it's that game, I mean, I would rather play that. That would be pretty funny. Yeah, 10 BBY. I don't want to do the power converters. That's the small Star Wars game that's coming out after the other one. That's the small independent one. It's a farm sim. I'll be honest. I would play an Austin Powers game. That would be funny. You make it like a sort of like a South Park type of game where just constant jokes, constant things happening, right? It doesn't take itself serious at all. And that's another thing, right? That's another thing with James Bond, right? They're like, we're trying to make it the most realistic James Bond. The dude is climbing a building in broad daylight at a high-profile event, and he's scaling the wall, and nobody looks up. We're making it the most realistic spy game ever. Moisture farmer sounds dirty. I mean, I guess. Here's the story about Austin Powers. The game takes place directly after the last Austin Powers. And in the game, he gets frozen again. Right? He gets frozen again, and he goes into the future. Farther into the future. Right? So now he's been frozen twice into the future, and then the game takes place. Let's do that. So 30, what you're saying is your real issue is that it's just Mission Impossible. My issue is that it's James Bond by name, by IP only. It's not James Bond. That's my issue. I want a Punisher game, but I want young Punisher. I want a Spider-Man game, but I want Spider-Man before he becomes Spider-Man. That's not Spider-Man then. Elventi says, then in 2028, get ready for Death Star Builder, 19 BBY server maintenance simulator, but it's building the Death Star. I mean, I'm there. I'm there for that one. Chopper Eric says, I hate when folks do that in Crimson Desert in videos, and now 007 is doing it with bigger stakes. What do you mean, Chopper Eric, when they do it in Crimson Desert in videos? What do you... I don't know what you mean, what you're saying there. Star Wars Farming Simulator Mobile unlock Luke Skywalker by pre-ordering. Yeah. If you pre-order now. JD Kent says, James Bond meets Get Smart DLC. I want a Punisher game, but it's Frank Castle just doing gardening. You never see this in the side of Punisher before. Yeah, that's what I want. I want a Punisher game. You're like, get ready to be Frank Castle in the Punisher's backyard. And you're like, backyard? Oh, he's protecting the city. No, he's just in his backyard. He's just shooting beer cans off the fence and gardening. Sarge says the Punisher before he knows he's the Punisher, so you can watch him grow. Going in the window in the front of God and Country plain view stuff. Ghostfire says, I'll be down to play the Austin Powers game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brainchild says, Austin Powers, you're frozen and recounting your beginnings that you want to play through the actual memories of his start. Game ends, and then you wake up from the frozen in the future, coming in the sequel. That's right. It's Joe Castle. Joe Castle. That's right, Eclipse. Yes, it's before his family gets killed. So he's happy and all. That's right. He's just farming. He's kissing his kid. You know what I mean? Like his wife. He's very happy. He's not even the Punisher yet. It's before. It's the prequel. It's the prequel before the Punisher. That's why I'm salty. I'm a little... I already brought up my concerns for John Wick, right? The gameplay that they showed for John Wick, I want more people attacking me besides the one-on-one type of stuff. That's my biggest concern for what I saw. I was like, man, I hope there's more than just one person attacking me each time. There might be. But what they showed, my biggest concern is the 1v1 type of stuff. Like, I want John Wick to have like 4 or 5 guys around him and he's kicking ass, you know? I want to play a game before John Wick becomes an assassin. Travis says, Mike, do you think that the Epic Games having issues do they cancel that Honey We Shrunk the We Shrunk the Mass Effect game? What are you talking about? Do you think games having issues do they cancel that Honey We Shrunk the Mass Effect game? I know you're doing a joke there, and you guys don't like character development? We have the character development. Why do I need the character development of James Bond again? Daniel Craig was a young James Bond that wasn't the full James Bond. Yeah, I don't know what game you're talking about. Are they making a Mass Effect Honey I Shrunk the Kids? I'm confused. Crowd says he doesn't kill you. He just tells you how disappointed he is. He kills you with guilt. It's the same film when you can't or won't continue the character, and then you go back always with the prequel. I feel like the prequel, first of all, they don't need to do this. They could have just taken, again, I've compared Indiana Jones and stuff, RoboCop, right? You could just make a game of the thing there. You don't have to do it. You don't have to make James Bond and then start James Bond over. The reason they picked James Bond is because James Bond is a really ridiculous, well-known IP, very popular, hence why they wanted to make it, because they think they have a baked-in audience. Meaning they spent $200 million because they think they're going to make the money back. Unfortunately, James Bond's stock is in the toilet. because of the last 2 movies that came out with James Bond. What was the last James Bond film? Was it Day of the Dead? No Time to Die. No Time to Die was the last one 5 years ago, right? Okay. Let's see the budget. $301 million was the budget. Over $300 million was the budget. So they needed to make money back. They probably had to make about $800 to $900 million to $1 billion, right? Somewhere along there, between 700 to $1 billion. No, I would say 800 to $1 billion, right? Yeah, it needs to gross over 800 million. That's what it says here. It needed to gross 800 million to break even. Okay. So close. So close. Yeah. It lost money. Yeah. There's your James Bond. Imagine making a James Bond film that couldn't break even. They're gonna find out real easy. Real easy when the game comes out. They already made a Three Stooges game. It was a side-scroller adventure game with a trivia mini-games reloaded on NES. I do remember that game. I remember that game, Brainchild. What does it mean? No bonuses? People get fired? Yeah, if they lose enough money, IO Interactive will probably be in major problems because one, their Hitman game, by their own admission, was funding the budget that was happening with 007. Right? The Hitman game was bringing money in. And who knows in this day and age, Chopper, it could be successful and they could still lose their jobs. Hell, Battlefield 6 is the #1 selling game of 2025, and they fired a whole bunch of people. So there's your thing. If it doesn't matter if your game is good or bad, you could lose your job. Look, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe people are just, they're so hungry. They're so hungry for the 007 game that this is going to sell 5, 6, 7 million copies. And, that's it. The whole story is good. Just makes its money back. It's a huge success. Greenlit's the next movie or the next video game ASAP. We'll see it, the next one in like 2030. Maybe. But again, over $200 million for this game. I don't know, man. Twisted Logic says the game industry is cooked. I don't know if the game industry is cooked. Certain elements of the game industry is cooked. JD Kent says Daniel Craig is good in those Colonel Sanders mystery movies. Knives Out. Yeah, he is good in those. I love how you called it the Colonel Sanders mystery movies. Crowd says, Mike, do you think that these studios greenlit for something and then they slip their bullshit in right at the end? 100%. 100%. Because they, even by, again, their own admission, they in the very beginning, they actually were going to use Daniel Craig. But I would assume that would cost way too much to use Daniel Craig. And then they have Lenny Kravitz, and then they have a whole bunch of stuff. That drives the costs of video games, right? To have celebrities in your video game drives up the price big time. Before you even get the IP itself is going to cost them a shit ton of money. Those are actually good movies. Rian Johnson, I think my favorite Knives Out movie, I want to say is the first one. The first one's the best one. Second one was okay. The third one was good. So I would go 1, 3, 2 in order. One's the best one. I mean, much better than what he did to the fucking Last Jedi. I wonder if they're going to do a sequel to the Thursday Murder Club. It's actually a pretty good movie. I don't know if they're going to do. Did that do good at the box office? I don't even know. Was it Thursday Murder Club? The Thursday. Seriously? They don't have the. What are we talking about? How does that not pop up in okay? All right, well, their budget was $60 million. So I would say yes. I don't even know what they made. Okay? I don't even know what they made. Well, I take that back. I take that back. Holy Christ. Did they not make it? Okay. So this is not a good sign. This is not a good sign. So I looked up what their budget was, right? So I looked up the Thursday Murder Book Club budget. The budget says producer for the Netflix has reported budget of 60 million, right? 60 million budget, right? We don't know what it's made because the Netflix release, but it showed strong theatrical potential with an estimated 500,000 UK box office debut and limited cinemas. Alongside high viewership, the film is a 77 critic. Okay, so I was like, okay, well, what did it do at the box office? They don't show you at all. It released in theaters, limited run, and they don't show it at all. They don't tell you what the domestic was, and obviously because it was on Netflix, they don't tell you what the. So it could be successful. 60 million. I thought was a movie in theaters. And I was like, oh, 60 million. That'll probably make money in the box office. But they don't say anything about it. So it might be a good movie, but apparently either nobody knew about it or nobody gave a shit about it. Yeah, I like Knives Out. Knives Out was good. The second one was okay. And then the third one kind of got back to what the first one was. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people knew about it. I don't think they really marketed it a lot. But think about that, right? As we go down the rabbit hole of films and stuff, right? You talk about these high budget video games, high budget movies. Netflix is a non-sustainable thing when you have movies not going to theaters and you're spending 60, 80, $100 million for movies that are going directly to Netflix. Okay? Imagine the day, back in the day, when movie theaters used to spend $60 million. If they didn't make their full money back in theaters, they would make their money back on DVD rentals, on, when they sales, rentals, and then it went to, with the licensing, it would go to like HBO or Showtime, and they would get paid for that. So they got paid here, they got paid here, they got paid here, they got paid here. These movies, they put them out, and they're only getting from Netflix. So how do you sustain movies that are $100 million when you're not making your money back? Same with these, what's happening with the television series and stuff like that. So what was the last thing that came out? One Piece. The last one came out, 2 years ago? Season 1? And then they just came out with season 2? And then 2 years from now, so you put all that money into it, but you're waiting like years and years afterwards. There was a report of HBO with Harry Potter. They say they're not releasing Harry Potter's series every year. What do you mean? You're gonna wait and film 3 years later? So the kids from like the first book to the second book have aged. So by the time you hit the last book, what are they gonna be, 30 years old? Like, what are we talking about? You have to film all these in order, but they're not gonna make their money back because they're not putting it in theaters or anything. They're only putting on the series, so they have to get just the monthly subscription model. JD Kent says, when I went to the Stranger Things premiere in the theater, Netflix didn't charge for the show, but you had to spend a certain amount in the concessions. That's funny you say that. We actually talked about that a while ago for myself. I said, if I ever opened up a theater, I would just open up like a Netflix stuff, and I would have Netflix for free. Okay. And people could just come in, but they had to buy something at the concession stand. That's actually what I said. I didn't know they actually did that. AI will make future movies. People will still be able to purchase the old organic made movies for premium. That's how you make the adaptation. It is so good. No, I understand that. I'm not saying One Piece is a bad thing. What I'm saying is the amount of money they're spending, and they're waiting 2-3 years to make the second season. That it kills. So what's happening right now with One Piece season 2 is they lumped it all at once. So imagine waiting 2 years, and on Netflix you can watch the entire season because they dropped the whole thing. Instead of, no one's talking about it, by the way. No one's talking about it. I hear it's very good, but it's out of mind, out of sight, because it dropped. People watch it, but they don't promote it anymore. It's just there. So how do you expect people to pay for the thing if they don't even know it's there? So I wonder if they changed the way they did it for Fallout. Amazon, everyone watched Fallout in one weekend and never talked about it again. This time around, they had almost the exact same amount of people watch it, but they were there for 2 months paying for Amazon Prime to watch the Fallout series. Right? And they had more engagement, meaning they made more money off of Fallout Season 2 than they did the first one, because the first one, people just had it for the month, watched it, and then put it down. Didn't watch. Where the second season, they had 85 million or 86 million people watch it, and they had to pay for the consecutive months when it was out, if it's 2 or 3 based on where it launched. Nobody's watching the new Harry Potter anyway. Who cares? You'd be very surprised how many people are going to watch it. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that series when it comes out. But my point about the Harry Potter thing is you can't wait 3 years to film season 2. The kids are going to change super fast. Reminds me of Stranger Things gap between season 4 and 5. Yeah, it's ridiculous, especially when you're working with kids. You gotta film them. You gotta work back to back. Be weekly. It impressed me with the adaptation. It's one of the best things I've watched. I wonder if they change season 3 of that. I wonder if they change it. Yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild, right? Because James Potter was a bully, right, in the books to Snape, but now Harry Potter's father is a racist. It completely changes the story. He was a bully, but now he's a bully and a racist. Like, it's gonna be wild when that comes out. Kent says, I beg people to watch the first 15 minutes of Department Q. You'll be hooked. They're the main series of the books. What platform is that on? Like Harry Potter is like a train wreck waiting to happen. You're sitting there going, if you know the books, right? If you know the books, Netflix, okay. If you know the books, you're sitting there going, what are they going to do there? It completely changes the entire context of everything. Right? Do you know what I mean? It's going to be very interesting to be like, did anybody go, hey, they say it's the closest adaptation to the books is what the series is going to be on HBO. But if they change that one character, it automatically makes it the most not adaptation of the books. It makes it the farthest adaptation from the books. Just by that alone. Crowd says, I'm loving Fallout, but damn, I got to wait is it 2 years for season 3? Jesus Christ. What are they doing? Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting to see what happens. And they're already coming out and doing what Disney does, what the big corporations do. I know obviously Disney's not part of it, but they're already doing the thing where they're coming out and saying he's getting death threats and different things that are happening, which is stupid because it's an actor. He's just doing the role. Has nothing to do with him. He's getting paid. But Warner Brothers has got to be like, Warner Brothers is making it, and then they're selling it to Paramount, and they're like, see you later. Warner Brothers is making it, and they're like, Paramount bought them over. Here you go. Paramount's like, what the fuck did we just buy? What are we getting ourselves into here? I don't know if that's confirmed, Cisco. That's what Crowded's saying. Here, I'll look it up real fast. Fallout 3 is expected to release around mid to late 2027, with filming scheduled to begin in May of 2026. So while not officially dated by Prime Video, the fast renewal of the production plan aimed to avoid long gaps between seasons following the release of Season 2 in late 2025. So there you go. Filming is slated to begin in May. So they're starting in a couple months. Month and a half. So obviously it takes time. So it'll be early 2027. Potentially April. So 1 year. Like if you just started watching it, by this time next year, you might have Season 3. I don't have Apple TV. I haven't watched any of that. Anything could happen, though? Sure. But you said 3 years, and this is saying that they're starting in May. So if they're starting in May, it'll probably be out mid 2027. So that's less than 3 years. That's 2 years less. I'm about to cancel Netflix. Are you kidding me? Fucking Netflix is raising prices yet again. All right, what time is it? Oh, damn, 12:40, chat. We went over. It's all right. We're good. We're good up until at least 1 o'clock anyway. How long did season 2 take? Less than a year. Season 2 started, here, I'll look it up for you. They started filming, I think, I want to say April. When did Fallout Season 2 start filming? Fallout 2 began filming in November 2024 in Los Angeles. Production for the second season moved to California to take advantage of the tax incentives. Delays caused California wildfires in January 2025. Film proceeded to continue. So, yeah. So it started in late 2024, and it came out in beginning of, or at the end of 2025. Right? Because it aired in November, didn't it? December. Yeah. So it took 1 year. That's normal. That's what you should do. Now what they need to do is stop making them fucking 8 episodes. They should make them like old episodes. Like, how do you have an unlimited, because you're only showing it on streaming service. How come you don't have 20 episodes? They could tell so much more of the story. They don't want to, though. It's like, oh, we're going to do 8 to 10 episodes, and we're going to wait 3 years in between each one. It's like, what are we doing? Yeah, remember when seasons were like 24 episodes? Which is fine. You could say this is like 16, right? Because they're about 45 minutes apiece, right? Usually shows were 22 minutes long, right? Unless you had the hour-long dramas and stuff. But usually shows were 22 minutes long with commercials and stuff like that. Now, they're like, we're doing 8 episodes and that's it. It's like, what? Can I compromise and have it 12, 16 episodes? Yeah. Well, that's basically what it is. They're doing 1 episode's 45 minutes, and they're doing 8 episodes. So technically, it's like 16 episodes. They're just wedging them together. It's like 16 to 20 episodes, but they're combining them. So like episode 1 is episodes 1 and 2. Episode 2 is 3 and 4 because of the amount of time it's on screen, which I never understood, because back then the reason was because they had to put airtime for the commercials to pay for the stuff. The people that are paying for the subscription model are paying for the stuff, so they could literally make it an hour-long episode. No, but they still do the old format of 40 minutes, 45 minutes. It makes no sense. They're still doing, it's like new television, but they're doing it old school ways. Lily says, does anyone else, Disney Plus, have a buffer for episodes where like commercials would be inserted? Yeah, because they have a thing where commercials are inserted. Amazon does that. I hate it. Amazon put it in. So now you have commercials for Amazon. It's like 3 minutes of commercials. Like I'm watching a fucking Twitch channel. It's like, what the fuck am I paying for? If I'm going to see commercials, then I'm not paying. Sorry. If I'm paying for your subscription model, no commercials. Hence why I pay for YouTube. Right? I pay YouTube Premium. I don't see any commercials. That's the way it should be. Red Line's on Amazon. Amazing film. Fault season 2 was not trash. Good try. I love when people get. I love you guys always fall. Every single one of you guys. You guys always fall for someone. Someone comes in and says the thing that you like is shit, and then you like roll up your sleeves and you're like, I'll show him. Yeah. All you have to do is literally ignore the person that said that your thing is shit. You're like, no, it's not going to happen. I've got to protect. I've got to protect. Kent says Amazon started charging an extra $4 for no commercials. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. I'm not charging an extra $4 for no commercials because I paid originally to have no commercials, hence why I paid originally. Like that was original. I got away from television, so I didn't have to watch commercials. Then I get their service, and now I'm watching commercials. El Dente says, my mom pays for Prime, so $4 out of my pocket doesn't hurt me. It's the premise. It's the premise, El Dente. Do you know why piracy's up again? Is because these stupid corporations don't understand. They're like, oh, we gotta invest millions of dollars to stop people from pirating our stuff because they're greedy, complete corrupt corporations where all they had to do was just stick by what they had. If they just had a good price, right? If they just had a good price, people would get it. They would rent it and watch it. Craig says, I love Ratcoin. Well, I just want to let you know, it's fucking stupid. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I'm just saying that just because I wanted to. Wait till the next brand. New idea. You get one service that shows all the content at random times, but it won't have commercials. But for the first 5 years, it'll be called cable TV. Yeah. Yeah, but Fallout was the second most watched show on all of Amazon. So by that logic, that means Fallout series doesn't suck. JD Kent says, but the scam is even though you pay extra $4, you still have commercials on Thursday Night Football. What? Really? So you pay $4, you get no commercials, but Thursday Night Football, you get commercials. Look at season 2 numbers. I did. It's like 87 million. It's the second most watched show behind Reacher ever on Amazon. We read an article, was it 2 days ago? Yeah, it's number 2. It brought in 87 million or whatever it was. And that's 87 million that paid multiple times to watch the complete season. Because they were watching every episode. They weren't waiting to binge watch it at the end. Reacher season 4 coming in 2027. I know we're excited. I liked the first season, didn't like the second season. I thought the third season was okay. I kind of want the fourth season to go back to the way the first season was. I don't like the whole buddy. He had a lot of like help. I liked him being like solo in the first season. Season 2, he had way too much help. Season 3, less help, but still. Yeah. I don't really know about the books, but I just feel like the way he is in season 1, that's what I want to see more of. I don't give a shit about all the other things, like all the other people that are helping and all this other stuff. That's a good show, though. Overall, it's a good show. All right, chat. Well, that's going to do it for me today. I do appreciate you all coming out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate it every day we come out, Monday through Thursday. Like I said, from 10 o'clock in the morning, just get you through a couple hours of your day. Yeah, I think that's it. Tonight, shooting the shit with Sarge. Not sure what we're playing tonight. We're going to be playing some video game, but we'll be playing with Sarge 8 p.m. Eastern over on 30 and Still Gaming. That's our other channel. We have uploads that we haven't done in quite a while, but if you haven't seen them, you can go back and watch those on this channel. We have Daily Grind tomorrow morning on Thursday night, and then we also have Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. Join me and Sarge Thursday nights right here on this channel. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Boot up the store, price is insane. $600 just to feel the same. Broken on launch, patch it later. Still want praise from every creator. Controllers cost half a paycheck per me experience. Yeah, sure bet they raise the price, shrug their shoulders, act shocked when nobody shows up. Who's this for? Not us. Who pays more? Not us. What do we say? Not us. We done, we done, we done. Console prices going up. We done with this. Half-baked games, full price. We done with this. Pay to play, pay again. We done with this. Raise it one more time. We done with this. Day one DLC, season pass lies, roadmap coming, same old lines. Early access, unfinished mess. They ship the problem, sell the fix. Used to plug and play, now it's log and wait. Servers down on launch day, great. They blame the market, blame the fans. Never blame their greedy plans. What's broken? The game. Who paid? We did. Who's mad? We are, and we're not doing this again. Console prices going up. We done with this. Beta test set full price. We done with this. Deluxe edition scams. We done with this. We've had enough. Yeah, we done with this. The users. Excuses. No. More. Greed. We love the games. Hate the suits. Hate the charts. Hate the loot. We're not whales, not your stats. We're the reason you exist, remember that. You want trust, earn it back. Ship it, finish, cut the crap. Till then hear the crowd say, we're not paying more to play. Console prices going up, we done with this. Broken launches every time, we done with this. Raise the price, lose the crowd.